Hey, it's Jeremy with Liberty Fair Offer, and I'm here with Mark and Chris. We just helped them close their family's estate sale and wanted to talk with them how everything went. So, if you guys could one at a time introduce yourself, we'll start there.
Hey, well, my name is Mark Healy, and I got my twin brother here too. I'll let him introduce
And
himself.
I'm Chris Healy.
Cool. And so, when you guys were thinking about reaching out, Um, what were you kind of dealing with, and what were your biggest concerns before starting the process of finding someone to help you sell your home or purchase your home?
Great question, Jeremy. That there were a few things. Number one, as you said at the front end of this conversation, it was an estate sale, so there are obviously some emotions. Our father built the house back in 1962, and it's the only home that when we were living under the roof of my parents that Chris and I ever lived in. So there's emotion tied to that as well. And both mom and dad had passed within the last couple 3 years, and now we were saying what to do now. And so I started looking around a little Google search, figuring out we had a lot of things going on in our mind of whether we wanted to look for an investor, home. What was it? Chris and I were talking about, do we list it by ourselves, or should we dabble in this thing by ourselves and try? I said, let's look at let's go out there and start searching through the web, and that's where I ran across Liberty Fair Offer, and did a little online form, and next thing I know, Jeremy, you're calling me, and then we're starting a relationship. So that's how this thing actually started.
Yeah, and I'll just add on that. There's one stop with you, Jeremy. Once Mark we start researching. We, like I said, we weren't. There were so many emotions tied to this property, the house that we grew up in, a lot of memories. That once the decision was made that it's time to sell, we didn't know if we should just as is, whether we, like Mark said, investor, do what the case would be. And we once we spoke with you, the decision was made easily to first partner with you. I looked at this was a partnership, and we talked about, you gave us the option. Should we just sell? Well, you had the ability to purchase our property from us if you wanted to, but you kind of laid out, the pros and cons of doing that or just listing it. And we took your advice and we listed it, and we're very, very happy with the outcome and what you did. And how you helped and support us. And we could not have done this without you and Ryan's help. I made that very clear. Mark and I have echoed that statement several times.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Yeah, and you guys were awesome to work with and super reasonable. What would you say, and either of you can answer this or both. I know you've praised us a bit here, but what would you say it was like working with us from start to finish as far as the communication went, the timeline, even the handling of the processing of all the paperwork? There, one thing we ought to mention is you had other siblings involved in this too, and this was not technically a probate, but it was an estate type of sale, we could
Mhm.
call it. So yeah, what was your experience like from start to finish?
Well, uh, from a communication standpoint, it was where I think it all. That's where that's what always makes and breaks anything, and lack thereof, I should say. And that definitely was not the case. And I truly appreciate it. I think we've talked before. Is that your colleague Ryan? So us four, and texts, emails, etc., phone calls, getting on Zoom calls like this, and it was great. We never felt we were left in the dark. Any questions we posed were answered timely. Response rates were great, and you said it. There's Chris and I are the youngest in the old sibling group here of the twins, and we have three older siblings, and so there's that dynamic had to come into play. But we were able to deal with that through your support, through your advice, through your dialogue to us. We were able to articulate that clearly to our folks, to our siblings, I should say, so that we all felt from start to finish that there was no breakdown in communication. So that's the hardest thing to do. Every project that goes south, you can push it back toward communication or lack thereof, and to see that not be an issue here was great. And even the point, and not to get in too much detail, but obviously there was we had a significant septic issue that that thing could have thrown this thing off the rails real quick. And hey, when the chips are down and things don't go as planned, you know, how do you pivot and react and respond professionally and appropriately? Was hey, it could have been a huge mountain, so it was a little molehill we had to jump over. But so that happens, and I thank you for that. So
yeah, and I also, as you know, Jeremy, Mark and I, as full-time residents, we're in Arizona, so we're not even in the state where the property was located. Yeah, obviously, Mark and I get up to Washington to our home, and we get up there quite often. You know, we were following your lead when we got this. The first weekend, we had a pretty nice showing, thanks to you, and you know, we had an offer that first weekend. You know, and we got on. You know, I think we got on a call like a Sunday night, 7 or 8 o'clock at night. It didn't matter with you what time, and you know, you guided us this offer that we put together on this first one, and you know, it stuck. And to Mark's point, yeah, we had a little bump in the road with a septic concern, and but you're on the phone, you're helping us, you're guiding us, and you're calling installer to see about getting some estimates right away, and we got through it. And it could have really messed up the whole transaction, but it didn't happen. So I thank you and all that. And I can also just say our three siblings that weren't in contact with you and Ryan never questioned anything Mark and I said to explain to them. Again, we're not in the real estate business, and what you delivered, communication you delivered to us, we were able to, as Mark said, articulate to our siblings just really easily, and not once get questioned about what was delivered from you to us, and vice versa, and then what we communicate to our siblings. So we thank you for that, for sure.
Yeah, you're welcome. And thanks for being reasonable too. One of the things we ought to mention is that we had actually priced your home to sell as well. A lot of the time, sellers, and I think, you know, without considering all of the concessions and things like that that ended up having to happen to get it across the finish line out of your control, you know, we were dang close to getting you the price that you'd originally come to us for.
Mhm.
And we had suggested pricing it lower. I think we even gave you about 3 price suggestions and timeline suggestions that came along with those. I think that was probably what I was most proud of, was really being on the money, no pun intended, about what we were priced at, and we got a bunch of action, and we were priced right in that middle range where I said, hey, I think it could probably sell within a week or so. Priced here, I think it'll, you know, get a bidding war up to about this price at a lower end, and I think you may sit if we go any higher than that. And we did end up taking a little bit higher of an offer, even though on the back end it ended up coming back a little bit. So
yeah, your crystal ball, Jeremy, was spot on.
yeah.
So
It was spot on, and I just like to test that into your anyone that would speak on behalf of you. Mark and I, or my siblings, never had a relationship with you prior. That's a big deal. It's not like someone referred us to Jeremy. You know, I'll give credit to Mark's the one that found you. And again, that's pretty unique. how, you know, we're sitting here having a nice candid conversation with you, but straight up and honest. And it's, I've except I met you via, I think we started this process January or February. And but I never knew you prior, you or Ryan or anyone from your company prior to this relationship we developed.
Yeah, we appreciate the trust. And yeah, I can't believe it's been that long. I think there was about a 6 week or so ramp up period that we kind of planned heading into
Yeah.
spring. And then yeah, it's awesome. It's about June now. So
Yeah, but to be clear, that was we purposely held back before putting on the market when we just started the conversation. There was things that we needed to do to the home before we opted
Yeah.
to get it ready.
Yeah, Jeremy, as you know, my parents been in 62. There's a lot of stuff we had to clear out. So that some of that delay stuff was that was the house stuff that we found, you know, in an attic, for example, that was older than me. And I was born in 66. So that just shows you how much stuff was in the house. So
you guys were a great candidate for an as is listing too. Most people don't realize that they can list their home as is. A lot of people think, hey, I got to go fix the entire thing up prior. I've got to update it. I've got to stage it. Um, or I have to sell it for cash. Whereas what we offered was kind of an in between, and you guys had time, you guys had some resources, you had energy on your personal ends to be able to fly up and uh, clear the home out, you know, whereas some of the time when people reach out, they don't have a lot of those things. Or if they do, they don't realize that they can still sell their home without doing all the repairs and still getting a fair price on the market for it.
Mhm. Which we did, which we definitely did.
Yeah.
And Jeremy, you know, I don't know how cliche this is, but you know, we started from a professional type relationship and it's moved into a personal type relationship too. So that's doesn't always happen in business. So I thank you for the friendship as well. So it's a pretty big deal, especially, you know, all the emotion. You heard all our dirty laundry and secrets and that about the house and et cetera, et cetera. And so, you know, I'll consider you a friend from this point forward.
Yeah. Likewise. And next time I'm in Arizona, we can go hang out and have a bite to eat or something.
There you go.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Cool.
definitely.
Well, let's wrap it up here. I guess if someone else, I mean, you guys have praised us enough. My head's just about to blow up. It's getting so big. But if someone else is going to consider, you know, selling their inherited property, an estate property, maybe it's partway through probate, or maybe they just want to get a little bit more for their home as is, and they have the time, they have the wherewithal and energy to do that. Would you recommend us?
Hands down.
100%.
Yep, hands down.
Appreciate you both.
Mhm.
And yeah, like I said, your words really help other people make these decisions, and this is definitely a real testimonial. So uh, I I really looked forward to getting this done for you. And as it got done, even on that day when they delayed it, they said, "Oh, it's gonna get done," and then they were like, "Oh, there's a delay," and then it got done. I was so happy.
I know. We enjoyed that Friday night. Trust me.
Yeah.
We enjoyed that Friday night.
I bet you were relieved.
Yes. Yes.
Good. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you.
Yeah, you
Thank
too. Thank you.